all sharpened up.
Don't think he isn't thinking that.
Stand up.
I got accused of waking people up.
20, you got that?
Yeah, you really hit it. You were enthusiastic.
Call this meeting of the Fremont County Board of Commissioners to order. If you'll please rise and join us in invocation from Bill Woods from the Solid Rock Christian Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord Jesus, we thank you for your grace and your mercy in our lives. We ask that you would fill this chamber with your presence and grant these, our county leaders, your wisdom to make godly decisions. We ask that your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bill. Roll call, please.
Commissioner McFall.
Present.
Commissioner Bell.
Present.
Commissioner Payne.
Present.
County Attorney Jackson.
Present.
County Manager Bryant.
Present.
Planning and Zoning Director Garrett.
Present.
All right. First item on the agenda, approval of the agenda.
Approval of the agenda. Mr. Chair, I believe that our agenda stands with no changes this morning, so I move to approve today's agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
On to the consent agenda. Notice there is no scheduling of a public hearing at this time.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Payne.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, administrative and informational. First, we have County Manager Sonny Bryant, her County Manager report.
So just a couple of quick updates. Yesterday we had a meeting with the City of Canyon City and the City of Florence, and it's always good to visit with them and see what's going on in each of those communities. And then after that, the commissioners and I went out to Cotopaxi, where the sheriff had a ribbon cutting ceremony for a new substation in Cotopaxi. And so we're pretty excited to be able to have additional law enforcement officers out there. And he also did indicate that they're now in districts, and so that means that there will be more law enforcement in the Penrose area and just kind of spread out through the community. And he indicated yesterday they're at 92% full staff, and so we're pretty excited that people are coming on board, and we are being able to retain employees, and we're hoping that that continues for that entire department. A couple of other project updates. We will be closing out the Hayden Pass project, so they're finishing up the construction, the revegetation piece of that this week. We'll be doing all of the final paperwork and submitting the final reimbursement requests over the next couple weeks, and I'm pretty excited to have that project complete. And then we have chosen our first 4 sites for the EPA Brownfields project, and so those sites include the Skyline Steel property here in Canyon City, the St. Cloud Hotel property here in Canyon City, the Colorado Quarries property here in Canyon City, and then the Baker property in Florence. We do have a couple more sites that have been submitted, and so we're going through the process of getting the determination letters submitted to the EPA for approval, but we're really excited to be moving forward with those first 4 properties. So that's all I have.
Very good, thank you. Okay, anyone else?
Sure. He knows. He just automatically looks at me. So I just wanted to let folks know that Commissioner Payne and I have a kind of a unique opportunity this week. We are leaving for a National Association of Counties conference that is going to be held out of state. I have the opportunity to go. I get to serve on the Colorado Counties Incorporated board of directors. And so I serve on that board, and because of that opportunity, I serve on the larger national board of agriculture and rural affairs. So that's the reason I'm going. Commissioner Payne has the opportunity here at CCI to chair the Public Lands Steering Committee. And so those are the topics that we're going to be pursuing within the next 5 to 6 days. And we look forward to coming back with a lot more information. I think this is going to be a great opportunity for the two of us to be able to get out there and to advocate for local officials and local citizens here to find out more about what's happening on a national level within those different topics that we will be pursuing, and be able to bring back a lot of information. So we're really excited about this opportunity and think that it has potential to do great things for all of Fremont County.
Okay.
And I'd like to take this opportunity to remind folks that the draft Eastern Colorado Resource Management Plan with BLM will be tonight, a meeting at the Abbey at 5, starts at 5:30, so you can have your thoughts be told there at that public meeting, and I plan on attending, and so see what they have to say.
Okay. And that's also available online where people can leave comments, but the meeting would be a good start on that. I just want to kind of tag on to what Sonny said a minute ago about the substation in Cotopaxi. It's been talked about ever since I've been in office about the lack of law enforcement on the west end and the response times and stuff. So I do applaud Sheriff Cooper and Captain Green for being able to put together enough men and whether they can split it out and have coverage all over the county, because it did increase it in all areas of the county. So again, applaud the sheriff. Thank you very much, and thank his staff. Okay, anyone else? Okay, we'll move on to citizens who wish to address the commissioners, and we have Mr. George Story here this morning. Morning, George.
Morning, George.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have some great news for us. I knew Cal Poly was good, but I didn't know until July the 4th how good they were. On July the 4th, there was a bad earthquake in California. It was 6.4 on the Richter. It was at Ridgecrest, 150 miles north of Los Angeles, and they actually didn't know it was coming until it hit. And they knew the quake. They notified Southern California and told them it was coming. They said it would be a 3.1 in Los Angeles. They hit it right on the nail head. They told me in San Diego it was about a 2.5. They hit it right on the nail head. This time, no one got excited. Everyone was calm. In Ridgecrest, where it hit, one hospital was evacuated. A lot of structural damage. But this time, everyone was calm, cool, and collected, and things came out really well. In 1990, a bad one hit. Everyone panicked. There was pandemonium, but this time they hit, and this was on July the 4th when we were 243 years old, the United States of America, the best country in the world. Cal Poly did it, and I'm glad they did it. And they saved a lot of lives, and my hat's off to them. Everyone have a good one. USA, USA, USA.
Thank you, George.
Thanks,
for letting
George.
us speak.
Okay. We have no old business today, so we'll move on to new business. The first item on the agenda is approval of a 90-day extension on improvements listed in the current lease agreement with DB Aero LLC for Hangar 23 at the Fremont County Airport. Sonny, did you want to say a little more about that?
Sure. So we have an agreement with an individual who's doing some maintenance work out of that building. And part of that agreement was for certain improvements to be made. And so he has requested a 90-day extension on those improvements. He has full intention of making them, just wants a little bit more time to get those done. And so that's this request. I did have a conversation with our airport manager, and he is in agreement with them, and so we would recommend that this is approved.
Okay, so he's asking for a 90-day extension and he's personal time constraint. So it is stuff that we required of him to get done. So wishes?
Sure, Mr. Chair, I have a motion for you. I move to approve the 90-day extension for improvements listed in the current lease agreement with DB Aero LLC for Hangar 23 at the Fremont County Airport.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded for approval of the 90-day extension for a lease agreement with DB Aero LLC Hangar 23. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, the next item of business is authorizing a transfer of appropriated funds between the self-funded insurance and the general fund of Fremont County, Colorado for the budget year ending December 31st, 2019. And again, I'll turn to our finance guru, Sunny.
Okay, so each year we do a resolution authorizing the transfers, and we typically do that at the end of the year. Our new auditors have requested that we do as many of these transfers prior to year end as we can, and so we're working towards that. The self-funded insurance fund we have been requested that we do a resolution specific for that transfer, and so that's what this is. It's for the indirect costs that are transferred between the self-funded insurance into general fund to help offset some of the costs associated with managing that program. And so the costs are $30,966, and that amount is actually arrived by our consultants that come in and do the cost allocation plan. And so this transfer request is for that specifically, and then this transfer will not show up at our year-end transfer list.
Okay, exciting stuff. So I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 20, authorizing the transfer of appropriated funds between the self-funded insurance and the general fund.
In the amount of?
Oh, in the amount of, got it right here, $30,966.
I also think that finance is always exciting, so
It is.
I will second.
Lots of enthusiasm there.
There's enthusiasm.
So we have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 20, authorizing the transfer of funds between self-funded and general fund for $30,966 for the budget year ending December 31st, 2019. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, on to the next item. It is for an appointment to the Building Code Board of Appeals, and it's a 3-year term ending at August 1st, 2022. We did receive a letter from Brian Rupp, who is currently serving on that board and wishes to remain on that board.
So it is a reappointment,
It is a
Mr. Chair.
reappointment.
Yes.
Yes.
So we do have the letter from Brian. It explains that he has an educational background, but he also has had work experience relative to the building industry. So I think he's been a good board member for us, and since he is seeking reappointment, I move to reappoint Brian Rupp to the Building Code Board of Appeals for a 3-year term that will end August 1st of 2022.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to reappoint Brian Rupp to the Building Code Board of Appeals, term ending August 1st, 2022. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
We went entirely too fast. We do have a public hearing scheduled for 10 o'clock. The time is 9:42. We will be on a recess till 10 o'clock.
Sonny mentioned we should just move that up to 9:45. It's pretty close.
Okay, we'll call this meeting back to order. There goes the hammer. The time has reached 10 o'clock, and we have scheduled a public hearing for a temporary use permit 19-008 Skyline Mennonite Church. It's a request for approval of a temporary use permit for the benefit auction to be held October 5th, 2019 from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the property located at 155 Shoup Drive, Penrose, that is out by the airport. Food and beverages will be provided. This is the second request for this, and we have Mr. Lauren Miller here this morning. You want to come up, sir? Good morning.
Good morning.
So,
You guys are the best.
tell us again about your event.
The event is a citywide sponsorship event where they provide products. Well, and the products also come in. We get a load in from Pennsylvania. We were looking last year to do a $10,000 to $15,000 auction event, but then when we saw everything that came together, we said, "Whoa, this is going to be 2025." And it was 35.
Oh wow,
Oh, my
amazing.
goodness.
So for the first time out of a chute, I tip my hat to you guys for allowing us to do this. It was a huge, fun event. A world premiere auctioneers that came in to donate their time to do this. And they love doing it for fundraising events. And so everything's the same, except we're going to be a little bit more, it's going to be better this year.
So tell us again what the funds are used for.
The funds are divided for Canyon Christian Academy. That's the school that's at the Abbey. And then also for the Ministry of SAFE. We lived in Thailand for 4 years, and there we got into the middle of finding out that 5,000 to 7,000 children are trafficked to America every year from Thailand. And so when you got into the real stories, the real heartbeat of that, it broke our hearts. And so we were asked to return and start a nonprofit, which was what became of SAFE, so that we can channel funds to help those children stay in their home environments and help support them with education, food, and medical. And it's unbelievable what's happening. We're in 4 countries now in the Southeast, and we get checks every day. I mean, it's just like 48,000 yesterday from an anonymous donor. And we get a chance to steward that and make a huge difference and keep those children safe. So that's what SAFE is to keep them in their home cultures, home environments, and we help support people there do it. We don't staff it, we don't house it, we just are a funding engine to make it work. And I've had the time of my life, and I thought I was done.
All right. You guys have any questions?
I have a couple of quick questions for you.
Yes.
So the auction itself, I understand the event starts at 9 a.m., but the auction begins at 10.
That's correct.
So food and visiting, and do you have the opportunity between 9 and 10 to actually look at the items?
You can browse. People travel for quite a distances. We realized we had about 300 in attendance last year. And so they browse, they get acquainted with each other or make reconnections and look at the product. And the energy just builds. You guys got to come and check it out.
I think so. So you already answered my next question, which was going to be how many people showed up last year.
Yeah.
So the other question I'm really interested to know is what kind of items do you auction, and are they all donated? How do you receive these items that are going to be auctioned?
Yes, that's a very good question, Ms. Bell, because the items are donated from local businesses, Big O Tires, Ace Hardware, Home Depot from Colorado Springs. They provide, some of them do it every month. I go in and they will donate like $100 worth of goods, and we accumulate that. Then we have, and we advertise that we do mostly new or nearly new product. And so, but we tried kind of the full spectrum, and we think we'll need to grow the auction before we get to what our sites are set for in the future. But like furniture and things of that last year was the bargains of the day. But tools and fishing equipment or hunting equipment or sporting, any of those kinds of things, those Rocky tickets that we had, it was ridiculous. But people had so much fun doing it. It was just like, and I said, where can you go to an event where you know you should make a donation and you get to go home with something? And so it was just it was way more fun than I experienced. But then people offer services. You can use my backhoe for so many hours, or I'll come and do lawn care for so many hours, or I'll repair your car at no charge. I mean, the businesses around here just came together. I'm so happy. Last year we had this meeting only like a week before before the auction actually happened. But this year we're ahead of it. So now we're going to expand the auction committee and bring in more of the Canyon City community or the Fremont County folks, and we're going to see what our good Lord in heaven will do to help these children.
All right.
All right, I have no more questions, Mr. Chair.
Any questions at this time? Okay, can I get a staff report, please?
Okay, the department has reviewed the application and found it to be complete and a true representation of the request as stated herein. The department finds that all requirements for the Fremont County zoning and development regulations will be satisfied by this application. They are requesting a waiver of the surety bond. This was requested last year and granted, and there was no issues.
Okay. All right, any other thing before I open public hearing? Okay, this is a public hearing, so I will open the public hearing. If anybody wishes to speak on this temporary use permit, now is the time.
Don't run all at once.
Okay, seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Get the button on my computer to turn it off. All right. So, any other questions or any wishes from anyone?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the temporary use permit 19-008 for Skyline Mennonite Church for their benefit auction to be held October 5th, 2019, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
I'm waiting to see if you're done. Anything else? Anything? I happily second that
You
motion.
always have more information.
Yeah, we need a, what about the waiver?
Oh, sorry.
The surety bond.
The surety bond.
Yes, including the surety bond waiver.
I second that as well.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded to approve temporary use permit 19-008 for Skyline Mennonite Church for benefit auction held October 5th, 2019 from 9 to 4, and also with the waiver of the surety bond. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Payne,
Aye.
Commissioner Bell,
Aye.
Commissioner McFall,
Aye.
motion carries.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck.
Last year I brought sales bills.
You did. I was
but
going to
then
ask you if
we
you had
don't
any.
have them yet because we're way too early, but I do have the flyer to promote this to the local businesses. May I give
Absolutely.
each one of you a copy?
And when you
Absolutely.
do receive those sales bills, please bring in a few for
I
us
had
so
one
we
in my
can take a
office
look.
last year, well
Yeah.
past the event, because I couldn't make it, but thank you.
And Mr. Miller, I would just like to say God bless you for the work that you do, sir.
Absolutely.
Keep it up.
Okay, with no further business before us, we are adjourned.
Oh, that's because we're